Hello and welcome everybody. We are very pleased to bring you another exclusive interview with one of our session heads at the World BioEconomy Forum. Dr. Mark Rudnicki is one of the forum's highly esteemed advisory board members and is head of the session looking into the future. Dr. Mark Rudnicki is currently a professor of practice in forest biomaterials in the College of Forest Resources and Environmental Science at Michigan Technological University. Here he engages in and coordinates research in forest biomaterials. Dr. Rudnicki has also been the executive director of the Michigan Forest Biomaterials Institute since its establishment in 2016 as a non-profit NGO dedicated to the facilitation of the forest bioeconomy in the state of Michigan, USA. Mark, welcome. Great to have you with us today.
Hi, Mark. Thanks very much for that kind introduction. It's great to be here.
Excellent. So, Mark, let's move on to the questions. How do you see the future of the circular bioeconomy developing over the next 10 years? Are you optimistic that the sector will grow and possibly even boom as the pandemic gets behind us?
Yes, thanks for that question. I think it's an excellent question. I think, yes, I think the effects of the pandemic on the bioeconomy, I think there was a lot of suggestion that, we were going to reinvent the future, that we were going to build back better. And now there seems to be a real strong desire to go back to the way things were, right? To go back to our comfort zone. But I think that's going to be short-lived. I think And then we're going to see, I think, a redoubling of our efforts towards the bioeconomy, because we realize that we have to move forward in this direction for sustainability. And the bioeconomy is a really critical part of that effort. I think that as we turn to renewable materials and low carbon materials, I think that's going to be the critical part to that.
Excellent answer. Thank you very much. Anything else to add?
Yeah, and I don't really want to come off as doom and gloom, but I think there's some real concern also about climatic tipping points, and that if we really want to avoid those things, we're going to need to embrace sustainability and sustainable efforts, and the circular bioeconomy is really a key piece to that, and I think that will also accelerate efforts and progress in the next 10 years.
Excellent, Mark. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next question. As you know, we're going to be going down to Belém in Brazil for our next World Bioeconomy Forum. Mm-hmm. And tropical forests are obviously going to be on the agenda there as discussion points. So how do you see the future of bioproduct development in tropical areas specifically?
Yeah, I think, my experience is mostly in temperate systems. We've been in Finland, and it's been sort of northern hemisphere focused. So the shift and going down to the southern hemisphere, in particular into tropical systems, I think has really been illuminating, and it's really brought to the forefront those kinds of issues. And it really highlights the potential of tropical systems. You have tremendous biodiversity in those systems. You have tremendous productivity in those systems. And so that, I think, are crucial to enabling us to harvest more in a wider variety of renewable resources. And so I think they're going to play a very critical role in the bioeconomy moving forward. And they already are a big part of the bioeconomy, right? Most of our paper comes from there. And so these are really fantastically productive systems that are a major player, as we're going to see in Belém.
Mm-hmm. Still focusing on Belém, you're going to be moderating the final panel down there in Belém. Your title is Health and the Bioeconomy. So what are your expectations when it comes to the content of the discussions that you'll be having down there?
Yeah, we have a really interesting and diverse collection of panel members that we're going to, we have 2 panel discussions in that session. One really focused on tropical systems, and it's going to talk about and include small scale startup efforts to large corporate efforts as well. But I think in this, in the small scale startup efforts, I think we're going to see a really nice illustration of how that can work to sustain healthy ecosystems, healthy local rural economics that can also contribute to a developing global need for bioproducts and bioeconomy. So, and then in the last session, or the last panel, I should say, is going to be more of a focus on the health. And I think as we see the global pandemic, well, we're not sure if it's really in decline yet, but hopefully it is in some places, but we'll see how that progresses. But we'll see what's the relationship between human health and the pandemics and cures that we can find in natural systems. And I think we'll see a really interesting connections there as well.
Excellent. Well, Mark, thank you very much for your time. I can't wait to meet you again down in Belém at the World Bioeconomy Forum. Thanks for your time, and we will see you again soon, I hope.
Thank you, Mark. We'll see you later.
Thanks.